Good evening and salutations, my BNB fans. It's been a couple of days since I actually did a review on um, this show. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, numbers. Just gonna be honest, the numbers haven't been hitting for a hot minute. Um, so I'm sitting there trying to find ways to make the videos better and just trying to retool things, trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, so that way I can sit there and fix it. Um, and just other factors being there too, which I'm not going to get into. But two, this show has been on repeat. Okay, we've had 4 days of practically the same conversation. A lot of people always sit there and say, one of the main problems with BNB is that they recycle conversations. So I have the same conversation for about 2 and 3 days, and it's been bad before, but it's like when it's bad, it's really bad. Like Ridge asking RJ to work at Forrester for the fourth day in a row. It's just like, it's mind numbing. It's so difficult to sit there and listen to him ask and beg and practically hand him the keys to the castle. As even RJ said, it's like, dude, he said that he was good. Brooke is like, calm down. Stop pressuring him. I know. But I want him to work at the company. And it's like 4 days in a row. Like, after a while, it's like, yeah, just like not care anymore. Like, sometimes when I watch this show, I always sit there and think in my head, do people in charge just stop caring at this point? Like, how do they sit there and look at this, knowing that this is going to go on for 4 days and be like, yep, this makes sense. This just makes sense. I can totally see it. Because either they don't care, which is very telling, or they're just stupid. And I mean, like really, really dumb. Like, they actually think that what they're doing is a good job. And I'm not saying that producing television is easy, but at some point there needs to be a certain level of common sense. And I feel like it's just lacking in the show. Liam. Oh, my boy Liam has been having the same goddamn conversation with Stuffy. There's a point where he talks to Wyatt. He finds out what's going on. And Wyatt is like, again? See, my whole thing is, I don't know if that's supposed to be like a nod, like, oh, okay, guys, we get it, but it's not funny. And when it's pointed out that obvious, even the characters in it is saying, you really having the same conversation again? That's not a good thing. But it's a worse thing. I don't know if that's such to make sense. It's even worse when we've had Liam whining about the same thing with Steffi. Steffi at one point is like, I gotta get to work, right? Like these bills, they're not gonna sit there and pay themselves. Because at some point, I felt like even she just got tired of reassuring this man. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling, the same feeling that you've been having for a while. And I get it, but at some point, this is where it starts to get really stupid. Because, bro, listen, you don't want your woman, you don't want your girls that they're working with Thomas. And you said that. You put your foot down, right? But she put her foot down. She was like, I'm working with him, and I changed my mind, and you're going to accept it. So shut up and accept it. Or, I don't know, divorce. You know? Your case, your pen pan, as they would sit there and say, isn't that strong if there's no follow through. So you sit there and you tell her, listen, if I don't want you working at this company, I don't want you working with him. If you do, we're done. Point blank, period. But you didn't do that. You whined and you complained and you made somewhat of a strong argument to some extent as far as his history, but you didn't follow through. So it meant nothing. Liam's insecurities, it's getting so bad that it's starting to reflect his work. He missed a meeting with Wyatt. Wyatt's like, you're not getting anything. You're not getting any food until you tell me what's going on. And he finds out what's going on. It's like, oh, okay, again. So now your insecurities are literally having a ripple effect with your friends like Steffi, with your marriage like Hope, with your job and your business partner like Wyatt. And then we just go right back into that same conversation. That doesn't really add up to anything. It's just him whining. It's just a big, giant whine fest. RJ did put Thomas on notice, which is good. But, listen, Thomas is like, we can change, and I've changed, and, I respect that. Barry that has it. Shake hands. They look at their mothers, realize, listen, if their mothers could sit there and be friends, then we can be friends. We can be a lot closer. And you have one big family picture, which I actually did like. And, Rich Smith is saying that, a lot of people say I have two families, but I have one blended family. Um, I thought that was nice. All of them being together, them interacting. It wasn't the Logans versus the Forresters. Because that was a thing before I started watching. Um, I can only imagine the hijinks that ensued. But besides Ridge, and again, he was at it again. RJ needs to sit there and work with us. RJ needs to sit there and work with us. Thomas tells RJ he needs to work with us. Long story short, Thomas is like, listen, you're doing great. If you want to come back, you can. It's a great place to work. And he wasn't sitting there trying to pitch him. He was literally like, yo, you're doing your own thing, and I'm amazed with the stuff that you're doing. And, Ridge, so Ridge says, well, what is he going to do in the meantime for a job? Did you? RJ's like, I have a job. And although I cannot stand the word social media influencer, I really can't. His thing, that's an actual job. If you're getting a check for something that you're doing, then that is considered a job. It is considered real work. This is something this is something that does piss me off with some people. And I've seen it in other people's comment section. This one dick said to this person, when are you going to get a real job? You can tell this person was literally jealous by the fact that this person's doing something that's fun, but is also giving them money. And I don't know if it's a combination of two. It's a combination of jealousy when people sit there and say that social media people don't actually have a real job. And it's also a level of old thinking. And both of those ways of thinking should be banned from society. Because the truth of the matter is, no matter what you're sitting there thinking, no matter if you sit there and think, well, this person has a real job, well, here's the thing, they get real money. So you can't sit there and discount that. You can sit there and say whatever you want about their job and why you don't like it, but at the end of the day, they are getting real money. So if you're getting real money, that equals a real job. So when Ridge was like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for a job? It annoyed me. It annoyed me. And hell, even before I started doing this, it would annoy me. Because I knew that at the time, even when I wasn't sitting there doing social media and stuff like that, and I know that I know that they got paid money, so you can't sit there and discount what they do like they don't actually have a job, because it is a job. Now it may be a different kind of job, but there is work that is poured into what people do. Now some people, it's like any job. Some people can half-ass it. Some people, like there's different levels to this. But you can tell when somebody's actually pouring everything that they have because it's not always easy. And in some ways, in some ways, I don't want to sit there and say it's harder, but it can be harder. Because unlike, let's say, if you work at retail and you deal with customers, and you know how there's times that customers could just be the worst. Well, it's almost worse when you are a social media influencer. Jesus Christ, I ain't saying that name. But it's worse because they are hiding behind a computer. So they can go the extra mile as far as being a dick, okay? Or as far as being an asshole, they can go the extra mile. And what's worse is that they can literally make your job a living nightmare. They can find ways to take away what you do. You can sit there and build it up for a good 5 to 10 years, and somebody can come along, hack your account, report your account, and it's done just like that. You know, you can't hack a job that's that's at a retail store. I mean, you can, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't hack that job. You can't sit there and take them. You can't sit there and take it away. The worst you can sit there and do is be like, oh, well, this person was mean to me, so I think you should fire them. But if this person has a stellar account, it's not going to matter. Unlike social media, that's the truth of the matter. So, in some ways, it's almost harder, especially with YouTube. So many different reasons. Um, I really want to sit there and get on a rant about that. That's because it was like, I know that he calls himself a social media influencer, and I was like, yeah, all right, bro, whatever. Um, but it's like, what's he gonna do for a job? He has a job. He has a job. He's making money. You like. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else. Honestly, to tell you the truth, that's what's been going on for the last 3 days. Just RG being back, and he's back. Are you excited that he's back? I can't sit there and say if I'm excited or not because I want to sit there and say what he's going to do. He keeps sitting there talking about, I don't want to sit there and be in family drama. Bro, you're on a soap opera. You're going to be in drama. Okay? You are, you're dealing with the Logans and the Forsters. So for you to sit there and say, I don't want to sit there and be in drama, it's like, are you not like self-aware of like who you're dealing with, who the people that you're family with? Um, So I want to see what kind of drama he's going to get into, because let's be honest, he's going to get into drama. And also, you know what? Since I'm on a bit of this rant, why not? Why the hell not? Katie and Bill. Why the hell would Katie agree to go out to dinner with Bill? If you don't want him, you don't want to be with him, and you always feel like you're sloppy seconds compared to your sister, then why are you even entertaining that idea? And Bill is like, well, come on now. Carter wouldn't have a problem with a little friendly competition. You're cool with being some sort of an inanimate object for these men to be viewing their attention over you? I mean, like, how does she not actually get kind of offended by that? I mean, maybe on some levels it was kind of a compliment, and if it is, fine, but you shouldn't even be entertaining an idea and begin with. This legit makes no damn sense. And this is what they do. Oh my god. It's like, again, and I said this on my Y&R review, that there's a certain level of disbelief that you need to sit there and have when you are watching these shows. And I get that. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm very, as they say, left brain. I'm very logical. So, some of the stuff that they do, you understand that they have to do it for drama, for effect, and to build a story. And sometimes I'm just like, this makes no sense. And it's like, well, it doesn't make any sense, but they need to do it because um, it's a soap opera, and that's kind of how it works. So I understand that things can be boring, but sometimes you just gotta look at certain things and be like, well, why would you do that for? And like you said, you don't want him to get the wrong idea. So what do you decide? Oh, to go on dinner with him. Yeah, so you're gonna go to dinner with him, After you just said you don't want him to get the wrong idea, and you also don't want to be with him. So it totally makes sense for you to sit there and go to dinner with him. By the way, did you sit there and tell Carter about that kiss? No? Okay. Well, pretty sure at some point it's gonna come up. So, once again, Carter Walters is gonna sit there and get his heart broken, and I can sit there and say, "Man, I want to feel bad for you." Oh wait, how did you treat Paris again? I mean, granted, I don't feel bad for Paris because how did you treat Zendaya again? And as I always sit there and say, I feel like I missed something. I have no idea what, but I feel like I missed something. So, if I did, like always, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I go through all of it. Yes, there's a lot of people in that chat that is GH fans, and I love talking about GH, but I also love talking about Bold and the Beautiful. So I would definitely love for y'all to come through as well. Because I do tend to go with the majority of the conversation, but I also will sit there and talk about B&B as well. And I would love to sit there and have some more people to talk about Bold and the Beautiful during my live stream. So I would really love for y'all to come through. And also on the weekends we have our member only conversation. We get into some discussions about well, you're gonna have to go back to the one of the if you join, go back to one of the live streams because we got into some stuff. But we also talk about the soaps as well. And so I would definitely sit there and allow people to come through more. We sit there and talk about B&B and all his craziness and Liam and his consistent, never ending whining. I love to sit there and chat with all y'all about that. So come through, hit the join button at the bottom if you're not a member, and come through tonight.